Today on English Bites, we visit a baby centre in Melbourne, Victoria. It's a place where parents can get help taking care of their children. If a baby isn't sleeping or is crying a lot, parents can stay at the centre for a few days to catch up on sleep and learn some parenting tips. But it's an expensive service to provide, and the centre doesn't have enough money to help everyone. Let's hear more.
When a baby won't sleep, new parents can be left crying for help.
With sleep deprivation, you feel like you're quite going mad. Looking after 3 kids, I think I needed a bit of help with this one. Come with me.
This week, Trudy Woodward and her 8-month-old son checked into an early parenting centre for 3 nights. Trudy is learning parenting strategies for young Liam.
I guess frustrated and angry that I couldn't kind of cope, that I couldn't sort it out myself.
Trudy and Liam are among the 2,000 families who seek help each year from the Tweddle Early Parenting Centre in Footscray. It's one of only 3 publicly funded early parenting centres in Victoria. But Tweddle is in the midst of a funding crisis. The centre has been running at a deficit for 5 years and is poised to cut services.
Turn around to your pumpkin. There you go.
After 85 years, Tweddle is about to cut its weekend overnight stay program. But weekends are often the only time fathers are free to participate. Management says the cuts might not stop at weekends. It may be forced to introduce fees and increase the waiting list.
Instead of a 4 to 6 week wait list, which is totally unacceptable for a crisis service, we'll blow out to a 10-week.
I waited probably about 8 weeks for that. And I'm very thankful to be here, but it's a pretty long wait, and especially when you're right at that point. When you call, you're right, that's when you need it.
Tweddle says there's been no funding to meet the growing demand for its services. It says it's dealing with a record number of calls, largely because these days many new parents are more isolated and less likely to have the support of an extended family.
You're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
I'd definitely say my confidence level for looking after Liam has been improved totally, and just my enjoyment too. I think I can see that getting more sleep will definitely mean that I'll enjoy it much more.
They call the baby centre a parenting centre. A parenting centre provides a range of services to help new parents. In the story, we met Trudy and her baby Liam. Why did Trudy visit the centre?
With sleep deprivation, you feel like you're quite going mad. Looking after 3 kids, I think I needed a bit of help with this one.
With sleep deprivation, you feel like you're going mad. Deprivation is a lack of something. It's when you don't have the things you require for a happy life. It comes from the verb deprive. To deprive someone is to take something important away from them. The adjective is deprived. Trudy is suffering from sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation is not getting enough sleep. So Trudy isn't getting enough sleep. That's why she needed help taking care of Liam. Let's hear more about how Trudy felt about this.
I guess frustrated and angry that I couldn't kind of cope, that I couldn't sort it out myself.
Trudy says that she felt frustrated and angry. If you're frustrated, you feel discouraged or annoyed because you can't do something you want to do. Trudy says she couldn't cope. Cope means to deal with or handle something. If you cope with a situation, then you handle it well. The centre helps people to cope better. So what's the problem at the Tweddle Parenting Centre?
But Tweddle is in the midst of a funding crisis. The centre has been running at a deficit for 5 years and is poised to cut services.
Tweddle is in the midst of a funding crisis. In the midst means in the middle of an event or situation. Here, they're in the middle of a funding crisis. A crisis is a stressful or difficult situation. In this case, it's a funding crisis. The centre doesn't have enough funds or money. The centre has been running at a deficit for 5 years. Deficit is another word for shortage. It describes an amount that's less than it should be. The centre has been running on less money than it needs for 5 years. So, what is the centre going to do?
After 85 years, Tweddle is about to cut its weekend overnight stay program. But weekends are often the only time fathers are free to participate.
Tweddle is about to cut its weekend overnight stay program. Overnight means lasting through the night. An overnight stay means to stay and sleep in a place for a night. So the overnight stay program is the plan that allows families to live and sleep at the centre for the weekend. Because they don't have enough money, the centre might have to cut or stop the weekend overnight program. But weekends are often the only time fathers are free to participate. Participate means take part. Fathers who work all week can only stay overnight on the weekends. So many fathers won't be able to take part in the program anymore. But that's not the only problem.
Management says the cuts might not stop at weekends. It may be forced to introduce fees and increase the waiting list.
The cuts might not stop at weekends. Here, cuts refers to reductions or the things that have to be stopped. The management may be forced to introduce fees and increase the waiting list. Here, to introduce means to put into use for the first time, and a fee is an amount of money paid for a service. So to introduce fees means to begin to ask people to pay for the service. In the past, the centre has offered its services for free, but now the free services will be cut. They also have to increase the waiting list. A waiting list is a list of people waiting, people who have asked for something that isn't available yet. It's literally a list of people who are waiting for the service. Now people will have to wait longer for the service. But luckily, there's no waiting list to watch today's story again. You can find it on the English Bites website, along with lots of other stories, quizzes and more.